Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. I can't believe this is the last Sunday of the year. Boy, did this year, it feels like it's been 5 years instead of 1 year for me. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to the new year. And so I know that Dr. Joe's talk will be off the charts again, so just relax, enjoy this wonderful talk by Dr. Joe Hooper.
Beloved CSL Palm Desert community, what a unique year it has been, and a special time that we're in right now during the holiday season. Because of this unique year and this special time, Dr. Joe has a special invitation for us regarding the bridge that we're building between 2020 and 2021. So I invite you to listen and receive the message Dr. Joe has for us right now.
Thank you, Reverend Charles. And speaking to Reverend Charles, I want to thank him for his commitment to our center. Reverend Charles moved his entire family down here last year, and thinking we were going to start making this transition into the new leadership of our center. And then COVID hit. So he's spent an entire year just kind of waiting, and he's still doing a lot of work, but he's also waiting to get his hands into this transition. So I just want to thank him for his service and to acknowledge the fact that he's been here almost a full year, and we're ready to put him to work in the new capacity as our new leader. So until then, you should be receiving a letter in the mail that I sent out this week, along with your year-end statements. And I want to share this with you because it's a really important time at our center. I start every letter out that I've ever sent with gratitude, thanking all of you for your continued support us. I know it's been a real challenging year for some of you, challenging financially, emotionally, physically, all of those things. And so I appreciate the support that you've given our center. We all do. And we want to continue doing what we're doing. And like Reverend Charles said, we want to build the bridge from 2020 to 2021. In order to do that, we need to recognize some of our accomplishments and some of our challenges that are ahead. One of our accomplishments, we had to pivot everything that we did in March about how we do church, how we do our center's work in education and in Sunday services. So you saw us quickly move into a place where we were able to identify ways to communicate with you. Hence, you have the 10 o'clock morning services, of which we have had close to 265 to this taping, 265 different daily services, which unless you're a news company, that's outstanding. For a center to be able to do that is just amazing work. So while the doors appear to be closed, we've never been more open and available to our spiritual community. So that's great. We've never reached more people than we had before. But the problem is it also presented a challenge, a financial challenge for us. By the end of this year, we expect to be short by about $175,000 in Sunday donations. And that's a pretty big chunk. That would take a significant amount of our savings to continue doing this. And so we're appealing to you right now during this giving season, during this holiday season, for you to step up and actually contribute a little bit more, whatever you can do to offset that amount so we can build that bridge effectively from 2020 to 2021, because we want to make sure that when the center opens, and it will, their plans, the vaccines are coming out, we got plans. I know that the cities and states are going to be lifting some of the restrictions, and as they do that, we'll be opening our doors. And we want to make sure that we've continued to sustain and maintain the talent that we've had at the center and the way the center operates. In order to do that, we need your help. We need your help, and that's what we're appealing to you to do today. So please consider giving generously this holiday season over and above what you would normally do. Again, we are short about $175,000, and it would be nice to break even or better. I call it break even or better. Let's build the bridge to break even or better for this holiday season. So thank you so much for your continued support. We greatly appreciate it. We can't wait to see you and fill our sanctuary filled with that love and energy again. Bless you this holiday season. So it's December 27th. You know what that means? Happy birthday, Reverend Charles. See that? We've announced it now for 3 weeks. Do you want anything else? Come on, that's enough. All right. So happy birthday, Reverend Charles. Let's get on to the talk. So the talk title today is, What's the Plan? We're looking at 2021. Boy, I remember a year ago. Do you remember? Think back a year ago on the week before the New Year's Eve. and the transition into the new year, and think about all the energy and excitement that was going on, and then how all that sort of kind of changed. But how excited we were when we were looking into 2020. I remember there was an energy here during the new year, during the service just before the new year, where there was just palpable. It was, you could feel the vibration, the energy, and the excitement that people had about just moving into a new expression called 2020, right? With clarity. So now we have to look forward to 2021, and how do we bridge that? What's the plan to do that? So first off, a look back. Look back. Many of us in the past year have actually been asking the question, why did this happen to me? Why did this happen to us? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why? There's a lot of questions why. And actually, if you think about it, knowing the reason why never healed anything. You know, knowing the reason why something happened never healed it, but looking at it as a lesson to move forward, that's how we look at it. But looking at the why behind something doesn't necessarily give us the healing we're looking for. So I heard this great phrase, and it's this slide is great. Except that some days you're the pigeon, and other days you're the statue. How's that? Just, you know, except that some days you're the pigeon, and some days you're kind of the statue. Feel like you're getting it. Okay, looking forward. New ideas are not born in a conforming environment. I want you to think about this really seriously. New ideas are not born in a conforming environment, because a conforming environment is the effect and the outpicturing of thoughts that already created it. New ideas are not born from doing the same things that you've done in the past and expecting something to change. New ideas are not born when we conform. They're born when we move out of our shell, we bust out of our mold, and we allow the spiritual stuff to flow through us and expand by means of us. New ideas are born when we decide to get out of our normal routine, when we get out of our paradigm, when we get out of our patterns. That's when new ideas begin to forge themselves into your life experience. So ask yourself, am I stuck in doing something some certain ways? And am I ready to make a change? If so, the only new idea you really need to tap into is the idea that I'm done with this and I'm now open and receptive to that, and become open and receptive to the new thing. All right, here we go. Almost. There we go. Living in two worlds. It has felt, maybe for you and for me, I know for me specifically, that sometimes it has been feeling like we've been living in two worlds. There's this outer world of experience and places and things and people. And then there's the inner world of this mystery in my own life, and this infinite possibility and all the unexplainable things that are happening. And so I have to live and look at the outer world of experience and see it as an effect, the people, the places, the things, what's happening. But I also have to look into the inside of my life, that inner world of the mystery of what is about to transpire, what is about to come through in my life experience. And I have to know that there's things that I cannot explain. I remember in my ministerial training with Dr. Bill Tolliver, brilliant teacher, he used to say, Joe, because we used to ask him questions. He's like, ask me some questions. And sometimes I would ask him a question. He'd say, well, I don't have the answer for that. And I'm like, well, how can you not have the answer? You're my spiritual teacher. You're the one that's teaching me how to be a minister. How can I stand in front of a congregation and say, I don't have the answer? Because that doesn't make sense. I'm supposed to have all the answers. And he said, many times, Joe, when you don't know the answer, it's because you're asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question. You want to ask why something happened. I can't give you the why, but I can tell you that in this unexplained world of ours, the infinite possibilities, that maybe you have to reframe the question, because maybe it's not all about you and not all about how I'm doing something, but how my contribution is bigger and greater than something that I'm experiencing myself, that there is a bigger picture to walk into. So I like that sometimes we can't explain it. There are things that I cannot explain. I call it stump the pastor. People would always in class try to throw questions at me where it's like, how do you explain this? And how do you explain that? I'm like, I can't explain that other than every single person that I know is using and living with this energy and vibration at some level that they tap into, and their experience is positive or negative as a result of where they're hanging their hat, where they're hanging their conscious mind. Does that make sense? I hope so. Here we go. Outer world has great allure, filled with promise, and is always calling us to pursue a higher status, until one day, when we look at the outer world and we say, well, it's filled with all kinds of opportunities, the higher status, the bigger picture, this is all great. But one thing we have to realize, One day we realize that the outer world is actually our inner world in which we live. So when my inner world becomes filled with promise, when it becomes a higher consciousness, a higher vibration, a higher frequency, when my inner concept of myself becomes that, then my outer world reflects the promise of that. I hope that makes sense. Because there's great allure in having, greater things. And I'm all about having more prosperity, more health, more healthy relationships, more creativity, the more in life. You don't have to have just what you have. There's actually more. You've heard me say it a gazillion times. It's that song from Unity that I learned as a little kid. Good, better, best. I'll never let it rest till my good is better and my better is best. And as soon as you get to best, it's another launching place to start into something new. So when the inside matches that, then we'll get there. Okay, it doesn't matter at all what you've been, only what and where you are going right now. So looking back at this year, specifically, I sigh, everybody sighs. When you look back at this year, everybody goes, there's this big exhale. And maybe that's appropriate. Maybe because when we exhale, we're ridding ourselves of the stuff the body no longer needs. So maybe as we inhale the possibilities and exhale the past, it doesn't matter what's happened this year now because it's the past. What happens is what's in front of us and how we're going to deal with what's in front of us and grow and expand with what's in front of us. It is said that if you seek, you shall find. If that's true, then what are you looking for in situations that are less than perfect? They say seek and you will find. When we say seek and you will find, when you look at situations that are less than perfect, are you just identifying them and regurgitating its condition? Or are you actually seeking the answers? Are you actually looking to change something? If you seek, you're going to find it. And that works both ways. If I seek illness, I will find illness. And so if I'm talking illness in my mind, if that's the predominant idea, then I will find illness. If I'm talking about constant conflict and I'm watching conflicts on TV constantly, you seek it, you're going to find it. If you seek a relationship if you are talking in your mind about how dysfunctional or how a relationship isn't working, that's what you're telling your mind you're seeking. And if you seek it, you will find a more dysfunctional situation. So if it's true, then how are you looking at situations that are less than perfect? We need to guide ourselves in that path. So in 2021, let's live by the old adage, if you don't have something nice to say, everybody's like, don't say anything at all. No, I want to change that. If you don't have something nice to say, at least have the decency to be vague. Okay? Because everybody feels like I need to express, I'm entitled to express, it's my human right to express. Okay, so yes, you don't have to be quiet, but at least be a little vague so you're not tipping the scales in any one direction, okay? Got it? All right. So another thing for 2021, don't get caught in the if-blaming trap. The ifs of self-blame. If I would have done this, if I would have done that, if I would have done that, that blaming thing that you do, right? And if blaming other people, if someone would have done something differently, then my life would have been different. And the if blame of conditions, like if this would not have happened in the world, then this would have been in my life. Okay, you can play that game all you want, but the reality is that's not going to move you forward into 2021. That's not going to be the bridge to the better you in 2021. It's just going to be regurgitating all your pain and attracting even more in the new year. So I came up with this affirmation. It's up on the screen now. God is blessing me with peace, health, plenty, wisdom, and creative power right now. God is blessing me with peace, health, plenty, wisdom, and creative power right now. Take that idea into this new year. Take this idea into reflection between now and the new year. It's been a challenging year, no doubt about it. But now know that you are being blessed and continue to be blessed with peace, health, plenty, wisdom, and the creative power right here and right now. So normally on a New Year's Eve service, the week just before New Year's Eve, we would have a burning bowl practice where you would write something down on the piece of paper that you're given at the center, and we would have you take it and put it into the flame as you're walking out, and the flash paper it just kind of makes a big flame when you put your things you want to release in there. So since we don't have the ability to do that today, Reverend William came up with a great idea, and he shared it with me. As you're releasing exercise this year in 2020, I think it's appropriate that you grab what we call sacred paper. Sacred paper. And I want you to go into your bathroom and the sacred paper, take out some toilet paper because it's sacred paper now. And I want you to take a couple sheets. I know you're sacrificing because there's a shortage now, but take just a couple pieces of that sacred paper. And I want you to write down the things you want to release, right? All the things that you want to release from 2020. And normally we only give you a little piece of paper, but you have as big a roll as your toilet bowl can handle. So you just list them all out. You list them all out on that toilet paper. And then when you're all done, I want you to just pray on it. Don't use it, but pray on it. And then throw it in the toilet, flush it, and say, "And so it is, amen." And be done with it. That's going to be our releasing exercise for 2021. And I find it to be highly appropriate given what's going on in the world. We can't burn the paper up. I don't want you starting a fire in your home. You know, fires everywhere. All this year, we've had fires and we've had plagues and we've had, hurricanes. And, we don't need to add to that. Just practice this one spiritual exercise. Have a great 2021, and we will have a great 2021. It's already done, and so it is.
All right, beautiful community. It's been an extraordinary service. As we bring this service to a close and we bring our calendar year to a close. So grateful for everybody and everything and all the ways that we have celebrated community this year and all the victories and good things. And a reminder that you never go into the toilet bowl to get back out what you put in, right? Just let it be there. Let's leap into a new year and have it be a good one. So let's wrap it up in a prayer together. I'm grateful for this sacred Sunday service and all that has transpired during it. Dr. Joe's message, our extraordinary music, Dr. Laura, our staff. The best is always yet to come. I give great thanks for what has unfolded, and I give great thanks for what is unfolding. And I know all of it is good. All of it is good. We've built that bridge. We're walking into our greatest good yet. Together, as a community, we are blessed, and we see it, and we know it, and we celebrate it. In one word, I call it good. And together, for the last time in 2020, let us say, "And so it is." Amen. Have a beautiful week.